All right, guys. So another 90-minute job that should have been 30 due to the lack of instructions. Yo, hey guys, Ken Perryman here, and I am back again with another product, and it is this guy right here. It is a shelf that will go right here. So, pretty sure you all know what it is. You've probably seen it before, and you've seen probably 100 variations of these. But what I like is this is a JL. That's what my Jeep is. It's JL. So very nice. But we're going to go ahead and get this thing attached. And then more so, we're going to attach this guy against this wall here. And then more so, let's talk about what's in the bag. You also have the shelf itself that will be sitting like this, and that will tilt up and lock into position. You'll have this really awesome little shelf here made of metal. All of this is metal. Now, added on this, you have, and I've already opened them, a set of screws and bolts that go in here with some spacers and whatnot. That will fit into this. Also, you get a instruction card here. Now there's one little problem. Inside this instruction card, it says that there is a template that you should use to spot your holes, because you're gonna have to drill holes into that. There's no template. So if there was a drawback on this thing, there's no template. And that is mostly intended for somebody who has no idea what's going on with any of this at all and is trying to take this on themselves. So I am just a smidge above that. I slightly know what's going on because I used to work in the automotive industry, so I know that how you can probably take these panels off. And then more so where you can find some of those holes. So let's go ahead and do that. What I strongly recommend, and hopefully you can see this down here. If you can't, trust me. So all around here, you can get a pry tool in here and pop these off. Now, what's gonna bother you the most is it's gonna feel like you're breaking it. You're not. So grab here as best you can. Pull, pop one, pop two, and you're gonna pop a lot more as you go along. There you go. That's it. Now, you may find that some of these little green clips, let me show you that right there. These little green clips may pop off and be still wedged within those little slots. Easy enough. Find a nice little pry tool, pair of tweezers or something, and pull it out. Put it back on the clip, you're good to go. Most importantly, if any of these break, go find some on wherever your local host site is, Amazon, whatever. See if you can find some replacement clips. Even the dealership, see if you can get replacement clips. You can put them back on, that'll be fine. And that will all mostly go back into place, no problem. Now, let me show you something that I find pretty cool, even though they don't have instructions. One of the holes is gonna be this guy right here. And there's a little shoulder right there. Check this out. Some of these bolts and spacers, surprisingly enough, that fits right in there. And it also appears to be just flush with this surface right here. What I'm concerned about is how far does this protrude into the panel? So, let's check. Because I'm concerned that this won't go. Yeah, it's already contacting, and that won't snap in. So again, the assumption then is, while this fits in that sleeve just fine, you're gonna have to drill this out large enough that you can push this through. Because what you don't want is you don't want that space and that panel resting on any of this plastic. You need it to rest directly on these shoulders. So we're gonna do that. And by doing that, you should have a large enough drill bit, and this guy is close. Should have gotten bigger. But most importantly, what we need to do first is identify where this shelf is going to mount. All right, great. Okay. This has got to be the most difficult portion of this, is laying this out just right so that you can get this to fit on this. Now, what I need to do is I need to loosen this piece. I think that I'll be able to shoot this directly. So once again, let's test this out. You do need to make sure that you do this all correctly. As we know that this will be the more difficult spot to do this in, let's go ahead and do this one first. Here's what I find a little bit difficult. Here in a minute, let me show you. But these do all appear to line right there. Thing is that these are gonna have to go through the panel, which means I'm gonna have to open up the hole a little bit more. But check that out. That is as simple as that goes once you've gotten past the panel. So this is the hardest part of this whole deal, is finding out, well, number one, you know where these holes are, and you got a good idea where these holes are. And let me show that to you real quick. The panel fits like this, yeah? These top holes, you got a hole guide. I told you, I showed you that pin in there. You can just shoot that right through there. You could shoot that right through there. Now, directly below is gonna be actually an out. Oh, please tell me those are the holes. Oh, if these are the holes, that's gonna be nice. Oh, there's no way. Okay, so these are mold marks in here, but they appear to follow. If I'm that lucky, oh my God, I'm that good. That's gonna be very, very nice. So back to what I said. Big hole right here. We're gonna have to cut that out, and then you have to waller it out a little bit. That's a technical Southern term. This one too. Then looks like this shifts down and goes, oh, wait. Yeah, it goes this way. Dang it. Nope, that's not gonna happen. So maybe that's this hole? God, I hope so. And then this one, okay, there's little dimples. These might be just as easy. Okay, but we're gonna have to find out. So unfortunately, what we're gonna have to do is, I think what I'll probably do is drill a pilot hole through the dimple. After I do the main holes, get those set up, drill pilot holes, put them in, make sure that they're centered to where those holes are supposed to be, open it up so we can get the wallered out section, which is gonna work out. And then put it all together and mount it on. It's just that simple. Yeah. And I'm not sure where these go. I think these might be JK versions. And then I've got some spacers and some other bolts and stuff like that that will lock this tray into position. All right. And this, I like. Pushing against this, I'm gonna have to make sure that this comes out because this section now comes together because there was a bolt there. Now, let's start this back to point zero. All right, so let's go ahead and test fit number one. Nice and clean. Please tell, oh, it fits. It actually fits. Sweet, that is exactly what I was looking for. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna do a spot check to make sure I'm not crazy. Yep, that's exactly where it goes. Okay. That's close, but I'm gonna make it work. I'm trying not to super waller out these holes so that they look bad. And I can obviously use a small knife in there. Actually, this needs to look a little better. That's better. That looks really, really good. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to eyeball this very quick-like and figure out where that hole is. That hole should be right about here. Back to my main point. I don't want to junky all this up. So what I'm going to do, and this is a leap of faith here, so you're all going to learn with me, is that I'm going to drill out that divot and hope that that hole is behind it. Now, hopefully you can see that. There's a teeny tiny hole right there. Wish me luck. Okay. So you are center. I can't see because the hole's so small. I need to get some light in there. So what I'm doing is I'm just loosely putting those clips back in. Surprisingly enough, I'm almost sure that's the hole. Put them in the holes loosely. Look down here and guess what I see? A hole that matches with it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, lastly, we got to do that again. Let's super quadruple triple duper check. Okay, okay, if the finger don't lie, I'm gonna go ahead and go right with this because I've been on spot on. Now the question is, no, I do need to waller these out. Here's the problem. I had a hole that guided me, a sleeve that guided me into this position. But now I'm going to be guessing the whole wallerment. Yes, that's a word too, I think. Or let's be clear, the whole wallerization. I wish, though, I had the correct size. All right, time for wallerization. Okay, all right. All right, so I am double and triple checking my mind here. I think I can put this panel directly on with no concerns. I can put in my sleeves, push it through the panel, yes, and then lock these in. So let's go ahead and start with the assembly process. There you go. Now you can see my holes here. Wish me luckage. Okie dokie. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, with all the washers out on the heads. Oh, MPI localization. Oh, okay. Let's go ahead and start with our section here. Oops. I'm gonna make sure that you are, there we go. Guys, that's it. Now, it's not completely it, but that's the hard part. This guy goes down here. Yep, there it is. Okay, so there are a few guys, there are a few of these that one is longer than the other, and I noticed that the bracket was bending right here. And that reason is because I put one of the short ones in here. I'll see if I can demonstrate it for you, but yeah, this is gonna be hard and you're gonna have to trust me. I'm not trying to play games, but so they're all the same size except for this guy. He's a little tall, and that's the guy that belongs down there. Okay, also I also learned that we don't put the washers on those because when I tried to drop the gate or try to lift it up, the hinge or the lip here was contacting that bolt. So that means they don't get washers. This is the long guy, this guy goes down here. Let's do this again and also take washers off. All right, now remember what I said, we gotta do this one here first. So what we're gonna do is put the screw in. And we're gonna put a washer on because we want the plastic piece, instead of washer, guys, to rotate about the plastic grommet piece. Come on, is how this is supposed to go. All right, guys, another thing that I've learned. These two bolts are pushing against my panel and causing this plate to bow out once I torque this down. These bolts also are hitting the plate. So these should come all the way up like so. I thought it was the other way. I think these are on the wrong side. And more importantly, this is on the wrong side. Yeah, I get that there is a bit of common sense with some of these. And there it goes. And that's how it was supposed to be, guys. And you take this, reduces the rattling. Okay. Okay. So now we need to put you right there. We're at the home stretch, I believe. So we are going to go ahead and put you like so and into here and then lock you on. And I believe you're going to be my 8mm. no rattling. All right, guys, so another 90-minute job that should have been 30 due to the lack of instructions, but I've been able to figure it out. We've got this in here, so this guy is super, super solid. So flick it up, pop your bracket tree off, pop your shelf down, nice and easy, locked in. Take your few pounds of tools. Yeah, this is a great little shelf. So I love how this has come together. I love the Molly, if you want to call it, connections here. So you can actually mount some stuff on the back side of this. As long as it's relatively flat here, it shouldn't interfere. You can mount something on the back side here. So you can keep some brackets, bags, axe, hatchets, things, whatever you want to. Put it right in there. Take this guy, lock it down, lock it down. She's not vibrating, not doing anything. And then most importantly, but then you can also just close it. No concerns there. Pull it out, open your door, pop your brackets. You're ready to go. Cook. I don't know, put a chair here. You could, tailgate somewhere. Put your little barbecue right there. So this is what I'm going to be using. Portable gas stove. Probably help if I had it oriented correctly. Pop it open. There you go. Pull this out. Look at that. Cooking with gas now. But you got yourself a cooking table, utensils, maybe even cutting board. Got it right there. All right, guys. So this thing is a little tricky to put together, but once it's put together, it's rock solid. I love these cables. I love how this thing's going to hold out. Easy enough to pick up, switch over, pop the brackets on, snap it into place. Not going to vibrate, not going to make any noise. So let me tell you this though. Take a look back at what I did. I will edit it for clarity because there was some back and forth that I had to do. But in short, this should be, if you follow a good set of instructions, not too hard to do. You just need to know where to drill, which luckily enough for this Jeep, there are great points. There are dimples, indents where you can drill. You just have to have the right size drill bit. You also need to understand where the washers and where everything goes. Unfortunately, the instructions that come with this look like they belong to a JK anyway, so you're drilling and popping rivets, and there's some things you're not even doing or don't even have that are according to this instructions. But it's still not too hard to put in. Just remember, as I learned, one of the shafts is longer than the other. It goes over here, down here into this one. Right? Down here. Where this guy goes, you need the longer shaft. The rest of them can go as you please, it appears, but the longer one goes down here. Also remember that these little screws that are down here, these two bolts, if they're faced where the nuts are towards you, not going to work. They're going to scrape against the bracket. Turn them around. All these, no washers. Screw them straight in. The washers go between the buffers here, the plastic, I'd say buffer or let's say hinge joint to allow this thing to completely turn without getting loose. And the washers will glide against that Delrin piece. I believe it might be a Delrin or of a ABS style plastic. So just understand that, and you should have no real big issues with this. The easiest part was probably drilling these in and then wallering them out, as I say. But guys, I love this thing. As much as it's been giving me a hassle, it didn't take me much more than an hour and a half for the most part to do this. Figuring it out. Had to take it apart 3 or 4 different times, and also I was super cautious on how I put this together. With all that though, guys, I hope this was helpful for you. I do appreciate your time, and I'm out.